be looking. Come as you are.
Welcome. My name is Sarah. I have Tessa and Monica with me. We're going to take you through a Vinyasa flow. It should be about 45 minutes. It will focus on hips and hamstrings and with a little arm balance play at the end. So we will get started in a child's pose. Bring the big toes to touch. Take the knees out nice and wide. Just rest your forehead on the mat. For these first few moments, just find a place of comfort. Starting to tune into the breath. Just finding your inhales through the nose. And open mouth exhales. Breathing in through the nose. And open mouth exhales. With every round of breath, just start to lengthen the inhales, begin to lengthen the exhales. When you find that you're ready, begin to seal the lips so that you're creating this Ujjayi breath, keeping a little intensity behind the breath. And with the focus today of being hips and hamstrings, maybe play around with taking your knees a little bit wider to the edges of your mat. And then begin to add in a little bit of movement. Just simply taking the right hip closer towards the right heel. Come back through center, and then the left hip over towards the left heel. And start to find that movement from side to side. Shifting the sensation from one hip flexor to the other. Maybe add in the shoulders with this rock. Maybe the forehead starts to shift side to side. Good. Revisit some stillness here. Begin to walk your hands over towards the top right corner of your mat. You can stack your left hand on top of the right hand, or maybe leave the hands about shoulder width distance here. Just creating this length along the left side of your body. When you've reached your depth, try pressing through the heel of the left hand, gently pushing the left hip flexor or the hip closer towards the heel to get into the hip flexor. Begin to bring the hands back through center. Take them all the way to the top left corner of your space. Again, you have the option to stack the palms or keep them shoulder width distance. This time working into the right side of your body. When you've found your length, apply pressure into the heel of the right hand to take the right hip closer towards the heel, feeling that little pinch in the hip flexor. Begin to walk your hands back through center, turning this into more of an active child's pose here. Crawl the fingertips closer towards the top edge of your mat so that naturally the forearms begin to lift off your space. And same thing, apply a little pressure into the heel of both hands, sending the tailbone back towards the heels. And with your next inhale, shift forward into a modified runner's lunge. Tent the fingers to the mat, step your right foot outside the right hand, and sink the hips closer towards your space. You can stay lifted onto the fingertips or release the palms at any time. And now that you're here, create a little bit of movement. Maybe you want to rock the hips from side to side. You can settle the right knee out. Maybe let the head go. Create some movement in the neck. Come back through center. Pivot your back foot, your left foot over towards the right edge of your mat, and sink the hips back, finding this figure 4 half splits. Front toes will lift up off the mat. Reach the chest forward and then actively drag back on the fingertips to lengthen the spine. Find your left hand, plant it down at the back of your mat. Find this reaching gate pose. Reach your right hand towards the back of the mat. Open opening up the right shoulder. And then sweep that arm all the way forward back into a modified runner's lunge. Tent the fingertips inside the leg, realign your back foot, sink into the hips and lift the chest. We're gonna find that movement a couple of times here. Take an inhale, pivot your back foot over towards the right edge of your mat. And on your exhale, find that figure 4 half splits. On your inhale, reach your gate pose. Left hand plants down at the back of your mat. Reach your right arm back. On your exhale, back to your modified runner's lunge. Pivot the back foot, sink into the hips and lift the chest. We'll take it one more time. So take an inhale, pivot the back foot. And on your exhale, figure 4 half splits. Reach your gate pose. Left hand plants down at the back of your mat. And this time, pause right here. Roll the right shoulder open. And lift on up so that the shoulders stack above the hips. Reach the arms out nice and wide. Turn your right toes towards the front of your mat and lunge the hips down towards your space. Release the right forearm to the right thigh and left arm reaches up and over. Maybe gaze up towards the ceiling. Lift the shoulders, stack them above the hips, straighten your front leg, find your gate pose, and release your palms straight down to the mat, hinge at the hips. Inhale the left arm high, possibly gaze past the fingertips. On your exhale, thread the left arm underneath the right arm, releasing onto the left forearm, or maybe the left shoulder, reaching all the way towards your front toes. So your choice here, you find your depth. Next inhale, unthread the left arm, reach the fingertips high towards the ceiling. Exhale, release the left hand down to the mat. Rise on up, find your gate pose, stack the shoulders above the hips, and take that modified warrior 2 lunge. Pivot the right toes forward, sink into the hips, right forearm to the right thigh, left arm reaches up and over. Gaze down towards your front foot, and just release your hands down. Pivot your right foot towards the top right corner of your mat, back into your modified runner's lunge. Nice and low. Find an inhale. And on your exhale, child's pose. Big toes to touch. Sink the hips back. Release the forehead down to the mat. Nice active child's pose here. Crawl the fingertips forward. Finding all that movement on our second side. With your next inhale, lift into a modified runner's lunge. Tent the fingertips. Step the left foot outside the left hand. And sink into the hips. At any time, you can release the palms down. Create a little movement here. Take the hips side to side or settle the left knee open. Then begin to pivot your back toes over towards the left edge of your mat. Sink back, figure 4 half splits. Send your tailbone back. Reach the chest forward. Think lift the chin, lengthen the spine. Drop back on the fingertips. Pull the heart forward. Reaching gate pose, take your right hand planted down at the back of your mat. Straighten your front leg, left arm reaches up and over. Roll open the shoulder. Right back into your modified runner's lunge. Pivot your back toes, sink into the hips and lift the chest. We'll take that a few times through. So as you inhale, kickstand your back foot. And exhale, figure 4 half splits. Reach your gate pose, right hand down, left arm reaches up and back. Right back into your modified runner's lunge. Lunge into the hips. Lift the chest. And one more time. Pivot your back foot. Figure 4 half splits. Reach your gate pose. Right hand plants down at the back of your mat. Reach with the left fingertips. Stay here. Rise on up. Stack the shoulders right above the hips. Reach the arms nice and wide. Turn your left toes forward. Modified warrior 2 lunge. Sink into the hips. Left forearm to the thigh. Right arm reaches up and over. Inhale, rise, stack the shoulders. And on your exhale, release your palms to the mat, hinge at the hips. Inhale the right arm high, maybe gaze past the fingertips. As you exhale, thread the right arm underneath the left arm, either releasing to the right forearm or all the way down to the right shoulder. Your choice. next inhale, send the right arm high, reach it back towards the ceiling, and release the palm to the mat. Rise up, gate pose, stack the shoulders above the hips, reach the arms wide. Modified warrior 2 lunge. Lunge into the front leg, forearm to the thigh, right arm reaches up and forward. Take the gaze towards the top of your mat, plant your palms down, and wiggle your left foot over towards the left for that modified runner's lunge. This time you'll sweep your left foot towards the back of your mat into a tabletop. Tuck the toes under in downward facing dog, lift the hips up and back. As soon as you get to your downward facing dog, start to tiptoe up towards your hands. Keep the legs long, the arms long, and take your time to arrive at the top of your mat in a ragdoll. Feet are about hips width distance apart. And you can reach for opposite forearms or elbows here, creating a little bit of movement, sway side to side or front to back. Letting the head go, so gaze towards the back of your space. Release your hands to the mat. Toe heel your feet wide to the edges of your space. So heels are on the mat, toes are off. Inhale, mountain pose, big circle sweep. Stand up nice and tall, reach the arms overhead. On your exhale, sink into a low squat, or maybe you're ready for a malasana. Sinking all the way down. Bring the elbows inside the thighs. Hands at heart center. Lift the chest up towards the thumb to lengthen the spine. And then squeeze the thighs in and use the elbows to press the thighs out. Inhale, mountain pose, stand tall, reach the arms all the way overhead. And exhale, forward fold, release your hands to the mat. Inhale, halfway lift, palms to shins, lengthen the spine. Exhale, high plank, plant your palms, step your feet to the back of your mat, and pause right here in your high plank. Shift forward on the toes, so more weight into the palms. Press through your palms to spread the shoulder blades here, and release your knees down to the mat. Lower down about halfway, hug the elbows in towards the rib cage, and press right back up. Nice. 2 more. Lower down about halfway and press right back up. Last one, lower down, press right back up. Downward facing dog, tuck the toes under, lift the hips up and back. Again, as soon as you get to your downward facing dog, start to tiptoe all the way to your ragdoll at the top of your mat. Again, feet are about hips width distance here. Fold over the legs, reach for opposite forearms or elbows. Bend your legs as much as you want here. Just create some movement. Maybe the movement is front to back or side to side. And shake out the head. And release your hands to the mat. Toe heel your feet wide to the edges of your space. Heels in, toes out. Inhale, mountain pose, big circle sweep, stand up nice and tall, reach overhead. On your exhale, sink into that low squat, or maybe sink it all the way down into your malasana. Press the elbows out, squeeze the thighs in, lift the chest. Inhale, mountain pose, reach the arms overhead. Exhale, fold, hands to the mat. Take your halfway lift, lengthen the spine. High plank, plant your palms, step your feet to the back of your mat. You have an option to release the knees here, or moving through two full chaturangas. So lower down about halfway, squeeze the elbows in towards the rib cage, and press right back up. Lower down about halfway and hold right there. Sweep it through upward facing dog, lift the chest, roll to the tops of the feet. Downward facing dog, roll over the toes, take the hips up and back. We'll take a couple of those sun A variations. So with an inhale, look forward. On your exhale, you can hop, step, or float all the way to the top of your mat. Toe heel your feet wide to the edges of your mat. Inhale, mountain pose, big circle sweep. Exhale, sink low in your malasana. Inhale, mountain pose. Exhale, fold, release the hands to the mat. Inhale to your halfway lift. And on your exhale, chaturanga, plant your palms, step or hop your feet back. Use your knees here if you want. Move through your flow, getting to downward facing dog. You can skip the chaturanga. You can hold a high plank. You can add on those push-ups. This is your flow. We'll do one more Sunday. So inhale, look forward. Exhale, hop or step forward. And toe heel your feet wide to the edges of your mat. Inhale, mountain pose, big circle sweep. Exhale, sink low in your malasana. Inhale, mountain pose, reach high. Exhale, fold, hands to the mat. And take your halfway lift. And chaturanga, plant your palms, upper step back. Make your way to downward facing dog. Beautiful. On your next inhale, lift and lengthen, send the right leg high. Bend the leg and peel open the hip. Squeeze the heel in towards the left glute to try and stack the right hip on top of your left hip. Think about pointing the right knee up towards the ceiling. Now find some movement here. You can roll out the ankle, circle out the knee, maybe extend the leg and bend it a few times, just keeping that open hip. Perfect. Lengthen, three-legged dog. And on your exhale, modified runner's lunge, step the right foot outside the right hand, release the back knee to the mat. Visiting this movement again, pivot your back foot over towards the right edge of your space. Find your figure 4 half splits. Sink the tailbone back. Find that active pull of the fingertips towards the back as you bring your chest forward. And reach your gate pose. Left hand plants down at the back of your mat to reach up and over with the right arm. And a couple more times, lunge forward, modified runner's lunge. Inhale the back foot towards the right, and exhale, figure 4 half splits. Inhale, reach your gate pose, left hand plants, reach with the right arm. Exhale, modified runner's lunge. Beautiful. Last one, inhale, pivot the back foot. Exhale, figure 4 half splits. Reach up and back. This time hold here, rise on up, find your gate pose. Bring the shoulders above the hips. Modified warrior 2 lunge. Sink into the hips. Right forearm to the right thigh. Left arm reaches up and over. Rise on up to your gate pose. Reach the arms wide. Plant the palms down, hinge at the hips. Inhale the left arm high. On your exhale, thread and tap. Reach towards your toes, first of 3, not releasing all the way down. Inhale the left arm high. Exhale, thread and reach. Last one, inhale the left arm high. And thread and reach. Send the left arm high. Release the left palm down to the mat. Tuck the left toes under, apply a little pressure into the palms without thinking about it, just step up, wide-legged fold. Lift the hips and fold over your legs. Take a grip here. You can reach for outside the thighs or the calves, maybe the outer edges of the feet. Beautiful. Just pull the crown of the head down towards the mat. Think about reaching the tailbone high towards the ceiling. Lengthen the spine. Reach the crown of the head down. From here, start to walk your hands over towards the left leg, bringing the chest closer towards your left thigh. Tucking the chin here, forehead close towards the shin. Come back through center, walk it over towards the right thigh. Trying to square the chest off over the thigh. And release back through center. Bring the heels in, turn the toes out, find your star pose, lift the chest, reach the arms nice and wide. Sink low in your goddess, sink the booty nice and low. Squeeze the elbows in towards the ribcage, lift the chest towards the ceiling. Press the knees out so that they track over the toes. Chair pose towards the front. Left foot meets your right foot. Sink low in the legs and reach your arms high. Hug everything in towards the midline. Bring a slight tuck in the hips here. Engage the core. One-legged mountain. Draw the left thigh in towards the belly and interlace the fingers around the shin. Lengthen the spine, so lift the chest up and then pull the leg in. Keeping this firm grip along the shin, start to take the leg over towards the left. Don't release your grip. Maybe you start to feel a little pull in the right shoulder. Good. Pull back on the right shoulder blade. Bring the knee back through center. And release low lunge. Step your left toes towards the back of your mat. We're setting up for a low horizon here, so let's find a twist. Left hand plants down. Reach the right arm high. I like to plant my left hand down in front of my right foot. Turn all the toes to face the right edge of your mat. Big inhale. And on your exhale, lower the left hip to a hover. Reach the right hand towards the back foot. Press firmly through your left hand. Inhale the right arm high. And exhale, chaturanga. Plant the right hand, step the right foot back. Use your knees if you'd like. Take a variation, make your way to downward facing dog. All right, we'll find that on the second side. Lift and lengthen the left leg high. Bend the leg and peel open the hip. You'll hug the heel in towards the right glute. Again, you're thinking about stacking the left hip on top of the right hip. Maybe pointing that knee up towards the ceiling. Creating some movement here, roll out the ankle or the knee. Maybe extend and bend the leg. Lengthen, square off, three-legged dog. Modified runner's lunge. Step the foot outside the left hand. Release the back knee to the mat. Sink low in the hips. As you inhale, pivot the right foot over towards the left. And on your exhale, reach your gate pose. I'm sorry, figure four half splits. You saved me, Monica.
Earlier.
Yeah. Okay, reach your gate pose. Right hand down at the back of your mat. Left arm reaches up and over. And a couple more times, find your modified runner's lunge. Sink low in the hips. Inhale, pivot the back foot. And exhale, figure four half splits. Reach your gate pose, right hand down, left arm reaches up and over. And last time, sink into your modified runner's lunge. Pivot your back foot and figure four half splits. Reach your gate pose, and this time hold right here. Lift on up, stack the shoulders above the hips. Take that modified warrior two lunge. Turn your toes forward, left forearm to the thigh, right arm reaches up and over. Rise up, gate pose. Point your palms down, hinge at the hips. Inhale the right arm high. On your exhale, thread and tap the forearm. Maybe reach for the toes, first of three. Inhale the right arm high. Exhale, thread and reach. Last one, inhale. Thread and reach. Send the right arm high. And release the palm to the mat. Tuck the right toes under, pop up, wide-legged fold, and just fold over your legs. Right away, start to take your chest towards your back thigh. Try to square off the chest over the thigh. Tuck the chin here. Release through center. Take it towards your front thigh. And release. Hands to the center, heels in, toes out, find your star pose, lift the chest, reach the arms high, and sink low in your goddess pose. Squeeze the sides with the elbows, sit nice and low. Chair pose towards the front, right foot meets your left foot, sweep the arms high. Find that same depth, and then sink 1 inch lower. One-legged mountain, draw the right leg in, grab for the shin, stand up nice and tall, reach the crown of the head up, bring the knee with you. Keeping this grip, take the knee over towards the right. Feel that gentle pull in the left shoulder, and pull the left shoulder back. Bring it back through center, and release low lunge. Step your right toes towards the back of your mat. Setting up for that low horizon, first find a twist. Right hand plants down, reach the left arm high. Big inhale. And on your exhale, low horizon, turn all the toes to the left edge of your mat. Hover the right hip, reach your left hand towards the back. Inhale the left arm high, and exhale chaturanga. Plant your left hand, move through your flow. All right, so now that we're nice and warm, we're gonna move through our first flow. Your next inhale, lift and lengthen, send the right leg high. And as you exhale, bring it through to a half pigeon. Bring the right knee behind the right wrist, foot behind the left wrist. Square off the hips, sing nice and low. There's a price to pay for this half pigeon. Don't just do this in the middle of class. Lift the chest. Awesome. Tuck the back toes under. Figure four turbo. Plant your palms to the mat. Lift the hips. Right ankle crosses over the left thigh. Press through your palms. Send your tailbone towards your back heel. Bring it forward. Float your half pigeon. Right knee to right wrist. And see if you can bring the top of your foot closer to the left wrist. Oh yeah. Right back into your figure four turbo. Fall in triangle, reach the left arm high, kick your right foot over towards the left. Maybe plant the knife edge of the foot down, lift the hips, maybe gaze past the left fingertips. Three-legged dog, right leg sends high, bend the leg and peel open the hip. Hug the heel in towards the left glute. Lengthen and square off. Step it through, low lunge. Wide-legged fold, and right away fold over your left thigh. Take it towards the back of your mat. Come through center, wide-legged fold. Heels in, toes out. Star pose, lift the chest, reach the arms high. Sink low in your goddess pose. Drop the booty nice and low. You'll turn towards the back of your mat and find a one-legged mountain. So draw the right thigh in towards your belly. Turn towards the back. Arms reach nice and high. In figure four chair. Cross the right ankle over your left thigh. Hands at heart center. Take an inhale. On your exhale, reach the arms forward and hover the chest over the legs. Think about lifting the thumbs up towards the ceiling so that the biceps are by the ears. Inhale, lift the chest, hands at heart. And exhale, hinge forward and reach. One more time, inhale. Exhale, hinge forward and reach. One-legged mountain, reach the arms high. Draw the right thigh in towards the belly. Step back into your goddess pose. Step the right foot back into your goddess pose, sinking nice and low. Now towards the front, one-legged mountain, draw the left thigh in, and this time you're gonna interlace the hands around the shin. Stand up nice and tall, squeeze the thigh in, and draw the knee over towards the left. Pull back on the right shoulder. Bring the knee in through center. Release to a half moon. Reach your right fingertips towards the mat. Reach the sole of your left foot back and the left fingertips high. Trying to find that stack of the hips and the shoulders. Inhale, warrior one. Release the back heel to the mat. Lift the chest and reach the arms high. Drop back on the right hip. Left hip forward. Keep your feet as they are. Take a pyramid. Hinge at the hips. Fold over your front leg. Your next inhale, twisted low lunge. Plant your left hand down at the top of your mat and reach your right arm high. Exhale, low horizon. Turn all the toes towards the right. Hover the left hip. Reach towards the back of your mat. Rise on up and step up, Malasana. Heels on the mat, toes off. Sing nice and low. Hands at heart center. Press the thighs out and then squeeze the thighs in. Taking a crow lean here. Plant your palms down about shoulder width distance apart. Take the knees onto the triceps and lift high up on the toes. Your toes don't even have to come off of the mat here. Just look forward, shift the weight forward. Fingertips are your brakes here. Step your left foot towards the back of your mat. Right foot steps back and move through your chaturanga. Finding your way into downward facing dog. Second side, your next inhale, lift and lengthen the left leg high. On your exhale, bring it through for your half pigeon. Knee behind the left wrist, foot behind the right wrist. Lift the chest, square off the hips. Maybe peek at your back foot, make sure it's in line with the right hip. And plant the palms, tuck the back toes under. Figure four turbo, send the hips back, cross the left ankle over the right thigh and press through the palms. Float your pigeon here, bring the shin forward, try to bring the top of the left foot closer towards the right wrist. Right back into your figure four turbo. Fall in triangle, send your left foot over towards the right edge of your mat, reach your right arm high. Three-legged dog, send the left leg high, bend the leg and peel open the hip. Lengthen and square off. Low lunge, plant the foot down between the palms, wide-legged fold and right away fold over your back thigh. Release through center, bring the heels in, toes out, find your star pose, lift the chest, reach the arms high, sink low in your goddess pose. Turn towards the back of your mat, one-legged mountains. Draw the left thigh in towards the chest. In figure four chair, cross the left ankle over the right leg. Take an inhale, hands at heart center. And on your exhale, lower the chest, reach the fingertips forward, biceps right next to the ears, so lift the thumbs up. Two more times, inhale, lift the chest, hands to heart. Exhale, lower and reach forward. Last one, inhale. And exhale, lower and reach. One-legged mountain, reach the arms high, lift the left knee, and step back to your goddess pose. So left foot steps back, sink low in the legs. One-legged mountain towards the front, and this time interlace the fingers around the shin. Lengthen high, squeeze in, open the knee towards the right. Drop back on the left shoulder. And come back through center. Half moon, left fingertips down, right arm reaches high. Reach your right foot back, finding that stack of the hips, the stack of the shoulders, pull the belly towards the spine. Warrior one, release the back heel, lift the chest, reach the arms high. Drop back on the left hip, right hip draws forward. Take an inhale. Exhale, pyramid, just hinge at the hips. Your next inhale, twist your low lunge, right hand plants, the left arm reaches high. Exhale, low horizon, all the toes towards the left. Bring the right hip to a cover, reach the left hand for the back. Lift on up. In Malasana, right foot steps up, sink low in the hips, lift the chest. Second crow lean here, plant your palms about shoulder width distance. Take the knees to the triceps, look forward, shift the weight high up on the toes, hold right there. Step your right foot back, step your left foot back, and move through your chaturanga. Okay, little bit of work. Know that you can lose any of this movement, but try your best, stay with me. Reach the right leg high. Take the right knee, tap your right tricep, and pause right here. Stay here or find your chaturanga arms and lower down halfway. Press up. From here, figure four side turbo. Cross the right ankle over the left thigh. Drop your back heel to the mat and reach your left arm high. Let's do that a couple of times. Right knee to right tricep. Stay or lower down. Press up. Figure four side turbo. Last one, knee to tricep. Stay or lower down. Press up. Figure four side turbo. This time pause. Let's float our fallen triangle. Reach your right foot over towards the left. And maybe you try floating the foot off the mat or you plant the knife edge of the foot down. Back to your figure four side turbo. Cross the ankle, lower the hips. Float your fallen triangle. And one more time, figure four side turbo. Float your fallen triangle. Hold there, float your half pigeon, left hand down, knee to wrist, foot to wrist, hold. Three-legged dog, right leg extends high. Modified runner's lunge, step outside the right hand, release the back knee. Sink low in the hips. Good breath. Pivot your back foot over towards the right, figure four half splits, send the hips back. Lunge forward and downward facing dog. Hips go high. We'll meet that on the other side. Lift and lengthen the left leg high. Take the left knee, tap your left tricep. Stay here or lower down halfway. Press up. Figure four side turbo. Left ankle over the right thigh. Release the back heel to the mat. Reach the right arm high as you sink your booty towards your heels. Couple more times. Knee to tricep and lower down. Press up. Figure four side turbo. Last one. Knee to tricep. Lower. Lift. Figure four side turbo. All right. Floating fallen triangle. Kick your foot over towards the right. Either float or plant the knife edge of the foot down. Your choice. Right back to your figure four side turbo. Send it forward. And take it back. Last one. Send it forward. Take it back. Let's hover our pigeon here. Right hand down, knee to wrist, foot to wrist. Three-legged dog, left leg extends high. And modified runner's lunge. Step outside the left hand, release the back knee. So good, so good. Let those hands on. Pivot your back foot over towards the left and figure four half splits. Lunge into your front leg. This time sweep your left leg back. Find a quick child's pose. We have one more flow to move through with an optional crow pose at the end. Just revisiting that same breath that you began at the beginning of class. So finding the breath in through the nose. Maybe take an open mouth exhale. Another one in through the nose. Open mouth exhale. Seal the lips. When you're ready, we'll meet in downward facing dog. We're gonna make our way through our last flow. A couple of changes here. Lift the hips up and back. Your next inhale, lift and lengthen. Right leg high. On your exhale, bring it through to your half pigeon. Right knee behind the wrist, foot behind the other. We'll stay lifted here, so lift onto the fingertips, lift the chest. From here, tuck the back toes under, figure 4 turbo across the right ankle over the left thigh. Press into the palms, sink the hips back. Float your half pigeon right knee behind the wrist, foot behind the other. And right into your figure 4 turbo. Fallen triangle, kick your foot over towards the left. Maybe you float the right foot. Big movement all the way into our wild thing. Left hand plants down, take the right foot, step it behind the body, and reach the right fingertips forward, opening up the chest towards the ceiling. Find your right foot, step it all the way towards the front of your mat. And right away, wide-legged fold, fold over your left leg towards the back. Release through center, heels in, toes out, star pose, lift the chest, reach the arms wide, sink low in your goddess pose. Staying to the front this time, one-legged mountain, draw the left thigh in towards the belly, reach the arms high. In figure 4 chair, cross the left ankle over the right leg, hands at heart center, big inhale. On your exhale, hinge at the hips, reach the arms forward. Inhale, lift the chest, hands to heart. Exhale, hinge and reach. One more inhale. Exhale, hinge and reach. One-legged mountain and interlace the hands around the shin. Reach for the left shin. Draw it over towards the left. Pull back on the right shoulder. Bring it back through center. And release to your half moon. Reach your left foot back. Right fingertips down, left arm reaches high. Find your warrior 1, release your left foot to the back of your mat, lift the chest, reach the arms high, big inhale. Exhale, pyramid pose, send the hips back, fold over your front leg. Inhale, twisted low lunge, left hand plants, right arm reaches high. Exhale, low horizon, toes towards the right, reach for the back foot. Lift on up. Plant the palms down, step up Malasana. Heels on the mat, toes off. You're more than welcome to stay here in this Malasana or play around a little bit with your crow pose, taking the palms about shoulder width distance apart, making sure the fingertips are out nice and wide for that strong base here. Take the knees onto the triceps. Look forward, so lift the chin, look forward, grip the mat with your fingertips. Start to shift weight into the triceps. Maybe you hug one heel in towards the glute, lifting toes off the mat. Maybe both. If you find a little flow time, keep pressing. Maybe stepping a foot back or hopping both feet back. When you're ready, move through your flow. Finding downward facing dog. We'll finish up on the other side. So your next inhale, reach the left leg high. And on your exhale, bring it through half pigeon, knee behind the wrist. Tent the fingertips, lift the chest. Begin to tuck the back toes under. Figure 4 turbo, left ankle over the right thigh, send the hips back. Floating half pigeon, bring it forward. In figure 4 turbo. Fallen triangle, maybe you float the left foot off the mat, reach the right arm high. All the way to your wild thing. Plant the right hand, step the left foot behind the body, and reach the left arm high. Find your left foot, step it all the way to the top of your mat. Wide-legged fold over the back leg. Release through center, heels in, toes out. Find your star pose, lift the chest, reach the arms high. Sit low in your goddess pose. Staying to the front here, one-legged mountain, reach the arms high, lift the right leg. Figure 4 chair, right ankle over the left thigh. Hands at heart center. Big inhale. And on your exhale, hinge at the hips. Reach forward, biceps next to the ears. Inhale to lift the chest. Exhale, hinge and reach. Last one, inhale. Exhale, hinge and reach. One-legged mountain and interlace the fingers around the shin. Stand up nice and tall. Draw the knee over towards the right. And come back through center. Take your half moon, left fingertips down, right fingertips high. Warrior 1, release the back heel to the mat. Lift the chest, reach the arms high. Take your inhale. Exhale, pyramid. Straighten the legs and fold. Find your twisted low lunge. Right hand plants down. Reach the left arm high. One time, low horizon. Lower the right hip to a hover. Lift on up. In Malasana, left hand plants down. Step the right foot forward. Second opportunity to find a crow or practice that lean. Your palms go shoulder width distance apart. Look for knees to triceps. Maybe try hugging one heel in or both. Gripping the mat with your fingertips here. Perfect. You can step one foot back or hop back. Making your way through your last flow here. Finding your way to downward facing dog. And we'll start to bring it down. Lift and lengthen, send the right leg high. Bring it through to a half pigeon. For real this time. You get to settle into this one. If you choose, you can keep the chest lifted. Maybe walk the hands outside the hips. If it feels better, maybe release onto the forearms. We're here for a few moments. I always like to create a little movement in my half pigeon, just working the hips from side to side to really work into that glute. If you're on the forearms, make your way back to your hands, sink over into the right hip so that you can sweep your left leg up and around. Cross the left ankle over the right thigh. Setting up for a seated twist here. If you would like, you can extend the right leg long, but left hand is your base here. Reach the right fingertips high and twist towards the left. So right arm hooks, left hand is your base. Long spine here. With your breath, inhale, lengthen the spine, reach the crown of the head up. And on your exhale, twist, maybe looking over the left shoulder. Release, we'll take a counter twist. Right hand is your base, left arm reaches high, and twist over towards the right. Same thing here, using breath, creating length. And release, big sweep with the left foot all the way to the back of your mat. Plant your palms, downward facing dog. Send the hips high. Maybe walk the legs out a time or two. Reach the left leg high. Half pigeon. Bringing the knee behind the wrist, foot behind the other. Untucking the back toes. Option to walk the palms back and stay lifted. Or settle in, bringing it down to the forearms. Trying to match whatever you created on the first side. If you're on your forearms, make your way back to the hands. Settle into the left hip so that you can sweep your right leg all the way up and over the left thigh. Option to extend the left leg long. Finding that seated twist. This time right hand is your base. Lengthen the left fingertips high and twist towards the right. Release. Counter twist. Left hand is your base. Reach the right arm high. Twist the left. Release. From here, just extend your heels towards the top of your mat. Fold over 2 straight legs. Lift the chest. Reach the chest forward and fold. Rise on up, tuck the knees in towards the chest, just roll back onto your spine, grabbing for the shins, maybe rocking from side to side. And when you are ready, you can extend your heels long towards the top corners of your mat. Setting up for your Shavasana, creating some space and length throughout the body, so take the heels wide, let the toes fall out towards the side. Maybe dig the heels into the mat so that you can lift your hips up and then shimmy the hips away from the shoulders. Same thing with the shoulders, walk them away from the head. Reach the palms away from the shoulders. And then begin to relax every muscle in the body. Coming back to our natural breath. And we'll do that just by linking our breath together. So release all the air from your lungs. Fill up with an inhale through the nose. And just an open mouth exhale. And last one, take an inhale through the nose. An open mouth exhale. Thank you so much for joining me for this practice. I hope you enjoyed your time.